It is very clear when you watch The Rookie of two things. One of the writers has severe mommy issues. Severe mommy issues. Nobody has a good relationship with their mother, except for the characters who actively become mothers over the course of the show. Everyone else, bad relationships with their mothers. The second thing you need to know about The Rookie is that a redheaded woman, ruined someone's fucking life. Because anytime there's a redheaded woman on The Rookie, evil.
They're awful. They're awful.
Evil.
See, I was thinking about, you're talking about The Rookie, and I was thinking about it, and I was trying to remember things from the show, and then I remembered that all of the things that I thought I remembered from The Rookie were actually from Castle. And it turns out I've never seen The Rookie.
Yes.
The Rookie and Castle are very, very different. The Rookie tried to convince you that it was going to be a fun, silly, goofy time. They in the middle of an episode for no reason are like, hey, what if we just launched a nuclear missile strike at Los Angeles?
Wait, what?
Hey guys, I have a funny little idea.
Crazy idea this week. What season is this in?
2.
Okay, all right. The season
shark early and hard. Got it.
Jumping that nuclear shark. Yeah, wow.
And then in that same episode, because there is this nuclear missile strike coming, they run into a doomsday cult. Fun, silly time, casual doomsday cult. They wait, they keep it hidden, they keep it secret. At the almost the end of season 3, that doomsday cult comes back. And you know who they decided to have be the leader of this doomsday cult? Do you know who they fished out of acting retirement with a little stick? Frankie Muniz.
Hey.
They banged around in the little NASCAR trash can, and they said, "Hey, come here."
Aren't they bringing back essentially all of the Malcolm in the Middle cast? Aren't they doing a reunion?
They are. So they are. But Frankie Muniz for a while, he's acting again now. But for a while, he had been retired, and he was just driving race cars.
Yeah, he wasn't in the main NASCAR division. He was driving NASCAR trucks, wasn't he? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I cannot hear Cass. I see Cass's mouth moving.
Oh.
I had myself muted.
Anyway,
he was in the truck division.
Muted for the visceral Frankie Muniz opinions.
Anyway,
yeah,
The Rookie is a really weird cop show. It's really silly. It's really goofy. They tricked me. And then I watched all 7 seasons.
Well, speaking of weird shows and tricking your audience, hi everybody. We are live from the apocalypse. We are a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that raises money for charities and various nonprofits through our content. At present, we are raising money for Medical Aid For Palestinians, who are doing a great deal of good humanitarian work in the Gaza Strip right now. I know that there's a great deal of terrible going on right now. The world is a fuck. And this particular fuck is still going on. So we're continuing to raise money for that. So if you enjoy what it is that you are seeing, and we sincerely hope you do, that you are not just here hate watching us, but honestly, even if you are, donate anyway. Rather than giving money to us through subscriptions, an assorted variety of corporate scripts and blips and chits and Jeffy bucks, all of those, that instead you take that money and you donate it directly to the causes that we are raising money for. You can do that by clicking where the subscription button would be is a little donate button. And when you click that, you can make the McElroy brothers yell at us. And by us, I mean me specifically. They will shout into my ear holes and completely derail my train of thought. Whatever scene it was that I was running in that moment will be ruined irreparably. That power is in your hands. Speaking of power that we have put into your hands, I say as I am still trying to like adjust where I am in this camera. You see me just kind of randomly scooching. Speaking of power that we have placed in the hands of you, the viewers, we have a few donation incentives for this game as well. For 5 American freedom dollars, I say that forgetting that also that this fundraiser is in Great British pounds. So for 5 Great British monarchical pounds sterling, you can add
Freedom
a momentum.
Sterling freedom.
Sterling freedom. Well, not freedom, not the British, never the British. You can add momentum to the pool. That is a point that helps the crew do various things. You can also, for 5 kingdom pounds, you can add a threat to the pool, which helps me not help the crew. You can also donate $5, do a little $5 to name a red shirt, to name an adorable, innocent little red shirt that I might even not murder right in front of you in the same scene. I might do it. At least one of them has so far survived. So far.
Okay. Before we get into the game, I hate to derail again. I have to go back to the Frankie Muniz thing because I looked up his filmography. He actually has been acting this whole time, but I can understand why you wouldn't have known that because about half of his credits are he showed up in a TV show as himself, or he played a character in such hits as Sharknado 3 and Sharknado Heart of Sharkness. So
So it wasn't technically retirement. It was just choices.
Well, let's be honest, I don't think he really was acting like if someone's willing to pay you, like, hey, will you show up in one episode of Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 23 as yourself?
Well, I would say Don't Trust the Bee. Don't Trust the Bee was actually really good for like celebrity self parodies.
Yes. It was really good. I really enjoyed that show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, anyway.
Anyways, that was it.
Yeah, no, speaking of celebrity self-parodies, let's introduce ourselves. Starting off with Cass.
What? How am I supposed to? Okay. Hi, I'm Cass, better known as Yoda or Yoda Almighty. I am playing Lieutenant Commander Vimes Tassam, the Romulan on board the ship, staring down a warbird for no particular reason. Right, Brendan? Everything's fine. If you hear any sad squeaking behind me, my dog has found her was supposed to be a silent squeaky toy. It's not always silent. She's punctured a hole in it, so it just kind of
oh no. It's death rattle. It's never ending death rattle.
Literally death rattle. It came out of the head of a football themed toy where the head of the creature was a football and squeaky.
What else would it be?
What else would it be?
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's just kind of under me right now making this noise. But yeah, I digress. Moving on to Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. One time, when I was in a friend's Slenderman series, somebody on the internet referred to me as Miranda Cosgrove, and I took that real personal. Anyway, tonight I'm going to be playing First Officer Nyko Bard. Nyko was kidnapped. Nyko is in baby jail. Please donate to save Nyko from baby jail. Thank you.
Oh, it's me. Sorry. I was looking at the Twitch, which has a significant delay, which I'd already realized, and I just forgot. Anyway, so, hi, I'm Rouge. I am playing Science Officer, Lieutenant Commander So Serene. And she is just happy to be here and, to to do science. But real unhappy about the amount of times people are asking her to be a medical officer, because that is not what she trained in, and that is not what she thinks you should really be using her skill set for, because she doesn't technically have that skill set. So yeah. Also, completely unrelated to my intro, but going back to the squeaky toy thing, my in-person tabletop game that I was in on Monday this week, where like it's like the climactic end of the story arc. The person we've been NPC we've been trying to rescue for a while now is like being held by the villain, and like the GM's doing his like big, threatening speech, and like to really emphasize it, has the villain like basically like throw the NPC down like on the rocks and like pick her back up again. And the brand new puppy that the person hosting the game had gotten was in the other room at that moment, did a squeak, 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 squeak. So then the joke was that was the noise the NPC made as she hit the rocks and was picked back up again. So yeah, it was really hard to keep the seriousness of the moment. I feel so bad. This GM keeps trying to have like horror games, really serious moments, and we just derail him constantly. So, like we're doing right now to Brendan.
I mean, having just listened to another episode of Cryptid Community College, I wouldn't know anything about that. But anyway, we are playing a different game. And incidentally, speaking of Reen the Trill and medical attention, we open upon a scene of battle. There are discharges of energy all around against the black of deep space, punctuated by the increasingly frequent sight of burning and exploding starships. We zoom in on one of them. It is taking fire from an adversary. The lights, normally visible from internal systems, appear to be dark. Within is chaos and confusion. All internal comms are down. Orders are being relayed via runners, and it's not going well. In main engineering, teams are frantically trying to restore power to the ship, but it seems likely that very soon there won't be a ship left to restore power to. In amongst the shouting, you can hear phrases referring to the Breen. Under fire, lost contact, draining power, followed by frantic calls to abandon ship, and finally a loud yell as someone yells, "Reen!" followed by an explosion, and a young Trill lieutenant in a gold uniform collapses to the ground after being thrown across the room by an exploding conduit. A fellow crewman grabs a hold of them and starts attempting to drag them to an escape pod. although from their injuries it does not look good for them, as they repeat over and over, Reen, Reen, stay with me, Reen, Misra, Misra, stay with me, Reen. And we zoom out, and we are no longer looking at a lieutenant in a gold uniform. Instead, we are looking at a lieutenant commander in a blue uniform. Still a Trill. Still Reen. Still injured, as evidenced by the prominent disruptor burn on the front of their uniform. And the person that is calling to them is Nico Bard. The two of you are prisoners. You were ambushed, lured into this warehouse by Sergeant Decima, I believe. I have to double check my own NPC names. Pretty sure it was Decima. 90% sure it was Decima. I wrote too many NPCs for this game, guys.
That sounds like a you problem.
Aquila is who it was. There we go. That
the other
makes
Roman sounding thing.
They're they're Romulans. It's their whole thing.
Love a bitch with a theme.
Look, they're all either Roman names or they're consonant, vowel, hard consonant, something L. Like that's all of them. That's all Romulans. I don't make the rules. You were lured in here by Sergeant Aquila. And even though the situation seemed a little bit off, you unfortunately were attacked seemingly by Breen, who were hiding inside. Nico, you were still outside at the time. You sensed that something was definitely up with this situation. Unfortunately, you had the choice of splitting, but that would be leaving your colleague to die, and you couldn't do that. So, unfortunately, you were captured as you ran in to assist them. The two of you are still in the warehouse in the middle of a force field. It's not really a holding cell. It's a very makeshift operation. You can see the emitter sat up on a crate facing you, along with your phasers, tricorders, medkits, everything like that. There is a Breen guard in the room with you. It's hard to tell how closely they're watching you just because of their fully encased body armor with their masks. They could be totally checked out and not paying attention to you. They could be watching you like a hawk. It's rather hard to tell. From the other room, distantly, you can hear two people in somewhere between a heated discussion and an argument. One of them is Sergeant Aquila, the other one is the other Breen. It's harder to make out the Breen. Your universal translators always tend to have trouble with them unless they've been specifically calibrated for Breen. And in the force field is an injured Lieutenant Commander Sosarine and a it's Nico Bard. How is Nico Bard feeling? What adjective would you use to describe Nico Bard in this instance?
I think they're a little disenchanted. They have been betrayed. They thought they were on relatively good terms with Aquila. They thought they were, making some positive roads in this whole, negotiations ambassador thing, and they are probably a little bit more upset about that than concerned about the fact that they are in danger. So, they see the best. They want to see the best in people. And they've been let down.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We're probably hoping that your first diplomatic assignment as first officer wasn't going to end with you being taken hostage alongside an injured colleague. Yeah.
Being in baby jail? That's embarrassing. That's Captain Kirk behavior. That's Captain Kirk behavior, and Myko Bard is upset by that.
And speaking of, what, if anything, are you doing for Reen in this moment?
Speaking of, should I be marking myself as injured on my character sheet? Because we didn't do that at the end of last session.
We're going to be playing...
Is this going to be more flavor damage, or do I need to be marking something down?
So we're going to call this loosely a non-lethal injury.
Rad.
The rules are... So the rules with that are that you are incapacitated for the entire scene and can't do anything. I don't want to do that completely. So we're going to be playing a little bit fast and loose with the mechanics for injuries. But
2 of my favorite adjectives.
Yeah. So we're gonna say you have a non-lethal injury with a little asterisk star next to it.
There's a little goose egg on their head.
Yeah. So rather than
I'm just
being
a little silly goose in this scene.
Yeah. So rather than being like completely incapacitated, you are basically unable to act at all. You can act, but you're just going to be like taking penalties as a result. Okay. Yeah. And crucially, if you are injured again, then things start getting dicier.
Okay.
Yep.
Fair and valid. I'll try to make sure that doesn't happen to my friend. I think Myko has probably scrounged around for whatever is left in this force field that we're in to try to make them more comfortable. Like maybe like found like a drop cloth or a rag or something, and I've rolled it up to be like a little pillow, and I'm tucking it under their head. I don't want to move them too much because I don't want to jostle anything if anything like came loose when they hit the ground. So I'm waiting until they can talk to me to tell me what hurts before I start fucking with shit.
And so I think actually it's a good time for, as in your dreams, your coma fantasies, after having lost consciousness from system shock from taking a disruptor to the chest, and having flashbacks to entirely untraumatic flashbacks to the Breen-related death of one of your previous, I guess your grand host, basically, two hosts back, as your colleague at the Second Battle of Chintaka calling out your name, one of the last things that Mizra remembers, fading into your current colleague, Onanzuris, calling your name as you regain consciousness.
Sosa like coughs a few times and just like almost goes to like touch and then thinks better and is just like, what's going on? Where are we?
It seems we are still in the warehouse, but we are trapped in the warehouse. We're in prison, but not sanctioned prison. We're in shady backroom prisons.
Well, do we still
I believe
have
the technical term is a black site.
Nico doesn't know that.
Yeah. We're split up from the person on our team who would know that kind of shit. All right. Well, did they leave us any of our gear? Can we maybe do something about this?
So they left our gear right over there where we can see it and can't touch it.
Okay. So Sotha has a talent called field medicine, where when attempting a medicine task, you may ignore any increase in difficulty or complication range for working without the proper tools or equipment.
Oh, intriguing. This is actually not knowledge that I had. I guess I should say I had the knowledge. I can see I can see your character sheet. I just didn't remember. I love that.
So, obviously, I can understand if I would still have a penalty, because you said the injury separately is going to give me a penalty to stuff right now. But I would want Sosa to try to, as much as she can, combination of her skills and then talking Nico through it, like try to do a check / any patching that they can that will help to make sure, maybe that she doesn't end up with a giant infection on her chest at the end of
fair.
this.
Yeah. Okay. So I think, between your talent for field medicine, being able to work with very little in the way of tools and even nothing, as well as having the assistance of your first officer with you, a good old second pair of hands, second pair of hands, second pair of eyeballs. I will let you just make the roll flat without any penalties.
Sweet.
So,
and because it's been a minute, just reminding myself, I roll 2 D20s.
Yes.
D20s.
Yeah, 2 D20s, and that's by default. You can choose to purchase additional D20s by either spending momentum from the pool or adding threat.
We're just gonna do a flat. All right, well, there's definitely at least one of those was a success. What's the difficulty? 10?
So, well, it's going to be...
I have to roll under my thing.
Yes,
which
you
is
have to roll...
medicine plus...
Yeah, medicine, I'm going to say control in this case. This is a very delicate... I would. Well, it's diagnosis, and you're also kind of trying to do this while still fighting off serious system shock.
Does meet it work, or do I have to be under?
Meet it beats it, as far as I am aware. And I am prepared to do that for the rest of the game, because that just seems correct. And if that's not the way it is in the book is wrong.
The only attribute where that would mean a failure. You monster. Okay, so I got one success.
So did you meet it? You said?
No, it was, I was doing the math, control plus medicine on my chart is at 11, and I rolled a 12.
Oh,
so
I see,
literally any other attribute, I would have had a second success.
Sadly, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna stick to my phasers there. But so you got a success.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. You're being pretty lax about the fact that I'm able to good old gumption rub some dirt in it to a disruptor blast on my own chest, so I can't be too mad.
I mean, you have both assistance and a talent specifically for that, so
I do.
I think that's
which is
reasonable.
why it's Sosa is her own worst enemy for continuing to try to convince everyone that she should not be trusted as a medical officer because her entire skill is based in the fact of like, oh, we can't get you to a real med bay and a real doctor. Yeah, I can deal with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I can deal with that. This is the perfect like frontier medicine. Hell yeah, let's do it.
And
Why do they keep asking me to do it?
And with a single success, you will determine that. So the good news is, at present, it is not life-threatening.
Cool.
But you really shouldn't perform much in the way of strenuous activity, or else it could become so. You've got a lot of cellular damage in your torso. There is a lot of it that is painful but superficial. Your organs all appear to be intact, but given the fact that they have had their molecules, in a word, disrupted, which, like, from both a medical and physics perspective, they really, like, shouldn't. Like, you're not supposed to do that to them. Strenuous activity could cause them to hemorrhage. You could start experiencing internal bleeding.
Okay. In that case, Sosa is literally going to turn to Nico and start giving a speech about if it doesn't look like I'm going to make it, your number one job is to take my symbiote and get it back to the ship alive. And here's the best way to do that to make it survive the trip back. Like, if I have to die, like, take the symbiote. That's what's important here. Yeah.
Trill, man.
Trill's gonna trill, man.
I think
we can't lose that many generations of knowledge. That's kind of like a guiding tenet of our like society. So you have to promise me that if it's between me and my can Host even survive if the symbiote dies? I don't think he can. I don't know of anything where that's happened in canon.
Once the symbiosis is complete, the symbiote can survive. Well, they can both survive separated for brief periods, but the symbiote can survive by being reimplanted. Once the symbiote dies or removes from the host, the host is just done. Like, there's no way out for the host. Yeah. Like, separation always means the death of the regular Trill host.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's gonna be a it's definitely gonna be if there's a chance, like, don't risk the symbiote if you're trying to save both of us. If you can definitely if it starts to look risky, you take the symbiote and make sure it gets out of here alive.
And I think it's in some fairness to Sosa, I think probably having just had that memory, that flashback, is reminding that the transfer of the symbiote from Misra to Grigan was pretty dicey. It was a not optimal situation. It was done on the fly. Grigan was not prepared. Was not considered an ideal host, but it had to be done because it was going to die and it was wartime. And it literally had to be surgically extracted on, like in an escape pod. It was a bad time. It was the Reen symbiote was nearly lost.
Okay. Okay.
And now there's Breen again.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Okay. Lyco's listening to all this and is like looking around again within our little confines of the force field for like what tools I have at my disposal.
Honestly, unfortunately, within the content,
cut me open, man.
Within the force field itself, sadly, you were pretty lucky to have had like a crate that had like it had like U-Haul blankets in it. Like it's basically like surplus surplus Federation aid from when this was still basically a refugee camp. And it's got blankets. As far as tools, you could break off a chunk of the crate and file it into a shiv, you know. Other than that, yeah, you would have to somehow get to your equipment that is on the other side of the force field.
Okay. All right. Hey, where is the source of the force field?
The source of the force field is near your equipment. It appears to be, it is like a mobile force field emitter. It is just set up on a crate, and it's like projecting out this like hemisphere force field around you.
All right.
It's kind of inconvenient because like it's tall enough for you to stand up in, but not actually tall enough for you to like stretch out your arms. So like you occasionally like go to try to like just like stretch your legs and stretch out from like sitting out crouching on the concrete floor, and then you're reminded, oh nope, ceiling not that high where you are. Ouch.
Cruel and unusual. So I wanna put some of my little engineering nonsense and buffoonery to use. Looking at this force field generator and see what I could maybe finagle. What I can assess from it about how it works and how maybe I can make it stop working.
Okay.
If I understand how it works, I should be able to understand how to break it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
One would even say a lot of times you can understand how to break something without actually understanding how it works. That should be the easy part.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call this daring engineering.
Okay. Daring and engineering.
We're getting real. I was going to say Kirk, but I guess that's not really.
So,
I mean, you were trying to figure out a way to disable a force field emitter with extremely little at your disposal. This is some flyboy shit.
I am surprisingly kind of built for that, because that means I have to roll under a 14.
Okay.
So that's a really high number that I have to roll under. So hopefully my odds are good. That is a 5. And that is a 12.
Okay.
So that's 2 successes.
Okay.
This kind of bullshit is, in fact, what Nyko's designed to do.
You know, that's fair. Okay. So I'm trying to give you a solution, and now I'm trying to come up with what that solution is. Okay. So, but I think I can give you a Star Trek bullshit thing you could potentially do. So, these are Federation aid crates, so you know what these crates are made out of. And you have sussed out like metallurgically like what the spars that make up the frame of this crate are, and you think that you could potentially, by breaking off one of the spars of this crate, and rather than filing it into a shiv that you would use for back alley surgery on your friend, if you can basically file off enough of the outer coating to get to the compounds that are underneath, and you were to basically shove that into the force field and hold it there long enough that that particular reaction, the particular conductivity of the metals in the interior structure of the spar, if forced basically into an energetic interaction with that force field and just held there long enough, you could probably overload the force field. And that would, explode the emitter, because that's what happens in Star Trek when things get overloaded. They don't just stop working, they explode.
Yeah.
Make sure you wrap your hand that's going to hold the thing, because it's going to get ugly.
Yes, so that's the other thing, is that it's probably going to get hot. It is assuming that you will be able to hold it in the force field that long. There will definitely be feedback from a destabilizing force field. And also, the guard is definitely going to see you do it.
Yeah, so that was my follow-up question was, but can they stop me without turning the force field off? How is this force field a one-way street kind of situation? Can they zap me?
So no, you are familiar enough with how these force fields work. They can't shoot you from outside of the force field. They would have to turn off the force field. The question is, if you were to start doing this and then they were to try to turn off the force field to stop you, could you and your injured colleague overpower the guard before he can also make you take a disruptor blast directly in the chest?
I see.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just laying out this obstacle course for you.
I hold the thing and you just get yourself prepped and ready to charge him as soon as either I finish disrupting it or he drops it to try to shoot me.
So I would say, and so possible, I will say, Reen, and now whether or not you decide you want to communicate this information to Nyko or not, Reen, you are pretty sure that you holding that spar into the force field while it is destabilizing is probably going to count as like stressful or strenuous activity that is likely to result in internal bleeding. It is likely to worsen your personal situation. Now, you know that. Whether or not you feel like you want to communicate that information to your first officer, that's a personal choice.
I'm not going to. I already made Nyko promise to save the symbiote, and we've got to get out of here one way or another. So the best way to do that is to have the person who is actually going to be able to charge the breed, the one who's like ready to actually charge the breed as soon as this drops, because we're not going to get a second chance.
Yeah, especially because I will just, in theory, either be able to beam us back up to the ship very quickly and get you medical attention, or I will just start sawing.
Yeah, that's the plan. It's fine. It's a brilliant plan. The sort of plan that would rival one of Kirk's himself.
All right.
Yeah. I will say, I kind of want to see if we can suss out if the two people fighting are going to leave. Because it's one thing, I have confidence in us handling this one bitch. 3 bitches, I get a little nervous.
That's a lot of bitches.
That's a lot of bitches. Are they still fighting? Have they made up?
Around this time, as you've kind of sussed out and you've sort of whispered this plan back and forth, I think, and you've been able to pretty much conceal your planning under the guise of you continuing to conduct a medical examination on Reed. You do not think that your guard is terribly suspicious of whatever it is you're doing, or at least they have given no outward indication of it. And it is around this time that Aquila re-enters the room.
No.
And approaches the two of you.
Hi, traitor.
I'm sorry, what did you call me?
I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends. I thought we were making roadways for you and, you know, for you and Vimes to be friends. I thought we had an understanding that while maybe we weren't on the same page as to what the end result would be, we were at least mutually respectful of one another and cared about people's safety. And yet, here we are.
Here we are. You know, it hurts me to hear you say that. Considering that I just spent the better part of the last 10 minutes trying to bargain for your lives. You see, my refrigerated associates here, they're in favor of just killing you and disintegrating your bodies. I have convinced them to keep you alive until we've done what we need to do. At which point, you'll be free to go. I don't want to kill you, Starfleet. I just want you gone. Now, again, my associates are on edge, given the fact that you are now aware of the presence on the planet and their likely involvement in what we're doing right now. But I have convinced them that killing you would only succeed in escalating a situation that they're not ready for yet. Now, if you'd prefer to be martyrs, by all means, I can tell them to drop this force field and execute you right now.
And how would you sleep at night? Because if you wouldn't feel bad about it, I don't know. I don't know if I can trust or believe you with anything you've said.
Well, what else is new?
I mean, this. Because we did. I did trust and believe you. We came to this with good faith, and it hurts that you didn't.
I can't tell you how much I wish that I could believe you. But I can't. My grandmother trusted the Federation once, and it ended her career. I can't bring myself to make that same mistake. You say that you have the best of intentions. You're very good at convincing other people that you have the best of intentions. I want to believe you, genuinely, but sorry, I'm looking a thing up. I can't ignore the evidence in front of my face. Your war with the Klingons ended when Praxis exploded, devastating their industrial base, threatening to irradiate Kronos, their home world. And they were forced to the negotiating table. And you made your one-time enemies into your lapdogs, your lackeys. After the Dominion War, the war that we helped you win, the only two powers left standing in the Alpha Quadrant were the Federation and Romulus. And we know for a fact that the Federation was making contingency plans for a war with my people even before the Dominion was defeated. And lo and behold, just a few years later, the Romulan sun mysteriously explodes, destroying our homeworld, our industrial base. It's dangerous being your enemy. I won't let this happen. I refuse to permit conquerors who come to us with a smile and a handshake. Now, if that means that in another life I might even have called you friend, but not now, then so be it. I've spared your lives. Don't make me regret it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm needed elsewhere. And Aquila turns on her heel and leaves the room. And the other Breen re-enters. So good news, bad news. Good news, you don't have 3 bitches to deal with. Bad news, you do have 2 bitches to deal with.
2 bitches is better than 3 bitches, I will say. All right. Thinks Naiko turns to Sosa and is like, they're gonna have a real hard time sleeping with themselves.
So we're back to the plan where we're breaking out, right? Like, we're not just gonna sit here and wait.
Oh, yeah, no, I wasn't. Yeah, no. We're still doing that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I just gotta suss out. Give me a couple minutes. I gotta suss out where's the best place to, like, yank a plug out of these fucking little fridge suits. Gotta think about this. You need to find their, like, equivalent of, like, an Achilles tendon, because when you cut that thing, it, like, rolls up inside of your leg like a lampshade. Just
It's horrible, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
That sucker's under a lot of tension.
Just immediately, just right up. So I guess the question is, would that be the same kind of a roll that I did before to try to suss out these suits?
Oh, trying to figure out, like, the Achilles tendon of the Achilles heel of these suits. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call that a daring engineering.
Okay.
Could I assist with this, given Reen's past tussles with the Breen.
Sure.
Remind me how helping works in this system.
You know, what an
I need
excellent
to roll?
What an amazing question.
Cheat sheet.
Okay.
It's teamwork.
Grant an ally advantage.
Yeah,
Single ally.
So
I roll 1 die.
Okay.
And if I get a success with that, it just gets added to your pool, assuming that you succeed. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So you got to roll under a 14 if you're using my stats.
Do I get to add anything for the fact that I have xenobiology as one of my focuses?
Yes. To double check how focuses work. Oh, that's right. No, foci, they increase the threshold for like a crit.
Okay.
So like normally you would crit on a 1. I believe with a focus you crit on I think it's like a 3.
Okay. Oh, that's looking really good. We said this was daring engineering.
Actually, it's a counter just not so. Oh wait, no. Oh, it's if it had focus. Hang on. Come on. I will admit that I think the rulebook could be better laid out.
Right.
Ain't that just the way?
Oh, each die that rolls less than the discipline for an applicable focus gains 2 successes.
Oh, then the discipline. Okay, yes, which is the lower score. Right. Okay. Yes.
Okay. If it's daring engineering, then my focus does not help, but I did get a just regular success. So you can add that to your pool, assuming that you succeed on at all.
Okay, we'll see. That is a 12 and an 18, so that's 1 success. So with your success, that's 2 successes.
Okay. You... It has been a minute since you read up on your Breen engagement briefings. But assuming that information is correct, and based on what you think you're seeing it is, there does appear to be a weak spot, or at least a less armored spot for flexibility purposes, that if targeted precisely, could cause a breach in their suits, which wouldn't necessarily like kill them outright, but would at least partially disable them, and probably make it easier to beat their ass.
Steal their gun, which is what my plan is.
To steal their gun and then kill them regular time style,
if I must.
Yeah.
If Nico must.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hokey dokey smoky. Let's channel. We got stuck in Captain Kirk baby hamster jail. We gotta Captain Kirk our way out of it, boys. Okay. We shall sit in the corner and pretend to gossip while we shave metal coatings off of this piece of crate, and then we will strike.
It's right. How could this plan possibly go wrong? We're killing it over here.
Mm-hmm. And while you are getting ready to great escape your way out of this situation with zero complications, we are going to shift over to Lieutenant Commander Vimes to Sam, who is on the bridge of the Gallant with Captain Selleck looking out the view screen of the Gallant at a just decloaked Romulan warbird.
This is fine.
But Captain Selleck turns to you
as you
fucking
grip it, baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude.
Oh,
Crack one for the
yeah. Look at you.
Thank you.
I'm helping.
You're helping. So all 20 of those dollars are going towards momentum, right?
Okay, all right. Sick.
4 more, Brendan.
Sick. All right. Come on, chat. Somebody out there, help me out with some threat here. Come on, guys.
Nope.
No.
Because you got to spend extra threat to do anything to me. And anything you do costs double when you're around me.
At least if I want to surprise you and go before you.
Don't tell him that, because then he's just gonna save it all for us.
It's right on the. It's that's why he separated us. Let's be very clear. Yeah, like.
So at this point, that is when Captain, since you were beamed out of a midair fall to the transporter pad and was then beamed
real
directly
hard into the transporter deck.
Yeah.
Ran up to command deck.
Well, then I believe you actually. Hello, Raiders.
Hello, Raiders.
Hello, greetings to our Raiders. We are playing Star Trek Adventures right now. Mostly. Sometimes we're kind of like, that rule feels silly. And we are also raising money for Medical Aid for Palestinians. Our donation incentives include $5 will give the crew momentum. $5 will also give me threat. $5 also lets you name a red shirt.
Do
a lovely, innocent red shirt that I would never kill in that same very scene. Incidentally, we did just get a donation that gave the crew a bunch of momentum. So I'm saying this momentum threat ratio is looking pretty lopsided right now.
No, it's fine, guys.
If you wanted to support a good cause and also make life difficult for our crew. But yeah, so I believe, Vimes, you had just been then emergency transported from the transporter pad directly to the bridge.
Yeah.
Yes, and that is the point where Captain Selleck turns to you.
I think I just went, fuck.
Yeah, and said, I believe that human expression is accurate to our situation. I take it that the situation on the ground has escalated.
Considerably. And you said communication is cut off from the planet?
At present, all communications on or off the planet appear to be being jammed. I have Lieutenant Osset working on a way to pierce their block, but she informs me that it will likely take some time. Fortunately, we're not going anywhere for the moment.
Not with a warbird pointed at us.
Well, that warbird has actually ordered us to leave the system.
Oh, no.
Yes, until such time as we have recovered the rest of our personnel on the planet, I don't plan on going anywhere. And I informed the Romulan captain of this. They appear to be awaiting further orders from the surface. So for the moment, we are in a stalemate.
Sure. Did they come on the view screen?
The captain?
Ambulance.
Did they?
Yes.
Did they? Yes,
Appear.
Yes, they appeared on the view screen when they hailed us earlier.
Do you mind, sir, if I reach out? On the off chance I may know them.
I am certainly willing to entertain a variety of negotiating tactics.
What does the humans say? Know thine enemy.
Very well. Ensign, hail the warbird. And after a moment, the call is picked up, and you are looking at a rather grumpy-looking Romulan captain in the uniform of the Anzuran Defense Forces.
I am, quote, well informed according to my character sheet. Do I know who this person is?
Okay. What an intriguing question. I need to come up with another NPC name.
I'm giving you a threat to do this too. So like,
oh, I see. Oh,
it's a
you add threat.
gift,
Oh, I see.
Brendan.
You give me threat to know something. Okay, then
Yes.
okay, all right. I like this ability. I
yeah,
like
you know,
this.
you didn't like it during character creation. Now you do.
Yeah, you know. I think I've got a couple of unused names back here somewhere.
How the tables have turned.
How the tape changed.
All that. Yes, actually. You do know this from going over your security briefings. This appears to be Captain Mavak. Captain Mavak is one of the few warbird captains in the Anzuran Defense Forces. They don't have, like, the Anzuran Defense Forces aren't large. They don't have, like, a vast armada. They only have a tiny handful of military ships and only a couple of full warbirds. So he's commanding one of the two big guns in the Anzuran Defense Forces. You do not know where the other one is, probably cloaked somewhere.
Yeah.
But this is Mavak. From your briefings, he seems like he is fairly apolitical.
Okay, that's good.
It seems like his general interest seems to just be in doing his job.
And is he of the old guard that hated the Tal Shiar?
I'm going to say he himself is just slightly too young.
Okay.
He himself is just slightly too young for that, but because you do your deep background, his dad was.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll glance at Captain Selleck to get permission to speak. And as soon as he nods, Captain Mavak, Lieutenant Commander Vimes Sam. I understand communications have been cut off from the planet. Are you unable to receive communication as well?
We are under orders to observe the communications blackout for all but absolutely necessary communications. We are in communication with headquarters on Anzuris, although in light of the communications blackout, our workarounds are slow.
I understand. Have you confirmed the identity of those in headquarters you're speaking to? I left the planet under duress, and only the skill of Starfleet's transporter team was able to get me to the ship. I did not think Anzuris was under control of the Tal Shiar, but, well, let's just say I stumbled upon something I wasn't supposed to, sir.
That is a
Bold claim.
That is an inflammatory accusation.
Yes, it is. And I do not say it lightly.
I trust that you have evidence to back up this assertion.
Hold on, I'm gonna flip back and see what my handler's name was.
I think we had it in chat. Hang on.
Yeah, we did.
Terrala.
Why is Discord fully not loading that channel? It's like, no.
That's how secret that information is.
Baby
Yeah, that's
jail.
how secret that is. Baby jail.
In fact, you know what? That's what I'm blaming. I'm blaming the desktop tech issues on. It's the goddamn Tal Shiar.
It's the goddamn Tal Shiar. Not the tech gremlins. It's the Tal Shiar.
We're just gonna start any and all problems with our streams. We are just for the rest of this campaign. We are just going to be blaming on the Tal Shiar.
Yes. Settling back in. In another life, Captain, I reported to one Terrala, both before the destruction of our homeworld and after, and I was privy to Call's membership, let's call it. Obviously, I've left that behind, considering my current rank in Starfleet, and I am just glancing at the captain to be like, hi, bud. Well, I'm sure I'm going to get a talking to later.
Mayvex stares at you a moment. Says, just so I am understanding this, you are...
Sergeant Aquila has been working with Takal to destabilize relations on the planet and any and all negotiations with Starfleet and the Federation, and I stumbled upon it, as did the commander and another lieutenant commander from this ship, who are unable to communicate now. I was able to get out before communications were cut.
So you are telling me that the unrest on the surface has been meticulously and methodically engineered by a Tal Shiar conspiracy that has penetrated the armed forces, and that this is being orchestrated by one of our media personalities.
Captain Mavac, pardon the interruption. I remember your father. I'm sure you know the stories.
I have heard the stories.
But you did not live them. Please take my experience into account.
Oh, I am taking your experience into account. You are, by your own admission, a former Tal Shiar asset?
Yes, and I just admitted that...
You are a confessed spy who is wearing the uniform of a foreign military.
Yes, and I just confessed that in front of my commanding officer, who had no idea. I'm sure if you look just that way, please tell me Brannigan has pulled a phaser on me.
No,
Brandon, please, no.
No, Brannigan's looking like it's just doing like the dumb like jaw drop, like
like I'm wanting the command crew to just be like, what the fuck? I'm sure if you will notice the surprise of my fellow crewmates, this was unknown to them before this moment. I am doing this to save all of our people, Mavac.
What you are telling me is that you are a very successful liar and infiltrator indeed to have penetrated Starfleet this deeply. I hope you'll understand if this does not substantially allay my skepticism.
Sure. Was it Sergeant Aquila?
Sergeant Aquila, yeah.
Fine. Sergeant Aquila was the only one to kill during negotiations the other day. We were all aiming to stun. Find her. See if she's as good a liar as I am.
Lieutenant Commander, you are not in a position to be assigning me homework. I intend to perform my duties to the best of my ability, and I will defend my homeworld when it becomes necessary.
As I would hope you.
This conversation is over,
and
shuts off the transmission. But interestingly, go ahead and give me a. Let's call it an insight security roll.
Okay. One dice at a time, because I don't trust any of them. Okay. I got a 10 and a 13, and I had to be 14.
So you don't think that you fully convinced him.
That's fine.
But you're pretty sure he's at least thinking it over.
That's all I needed.
He's not convinced, but you incepted the idea.
That's what I wanted. Okay. I will turn to the captain. Captain, my apologies. I have been lying to you.
We will discuss any debriefings once the crisis is over. Until that time, you remain my chief of security, and in that capacity, I would welcome any recommendations for exfiltrating our crewmen on the surface.
If Reen's crew of science-y types are as good as I believe they are already working on a way to disrupt the disruptor on the planet. But one or two of them could potentially get communication not to maybe Federation equipment, Starfleet equipment, like they would be expecting to find on the commander and lieutenant commander, but perhaps to a very friendly doctor we met earlier today. A Klingon. He seemed friendly with the commander. Perhaps he could be persuaded to search them out.
Do you have a way of getting in contact with this doctor?
That's what we need Reen's team of science-y types for. I can only go so far.
And actually, at this time, you receive a little beep beep on your comm badge.
Do I?
Yes, a little beep beep. Commander, I keep forgetting. Is Vimes the surname or is Tassam the surname?
Tassam is the surname.
Okay, Commander Tassam. Commander Tassam, this is Lieutenant Commander Shannara. Could I have your report to Sick Bay, please? Sick Bay, please. Sick Bay.
I am occupied, Lieutenant Shannara. What does this?
I'm afraid it is Ambassador Katith. She's requesting to see you urgently.
Captain, may I report to Sick Bay?
You are relieved.
Thank you, sir. Just barging right into Sick Bay. Lieutenant?
And Shannara points you over to a bed in Sick Bay. At present, it appears that Lieutenant Shannara is actually presently working with Lieutenants Osset and Adam on the little psychic detector.
Yeah. Okay.
And you gestures you over to a bed in sickbay where Ambassador Katith is there. She does not look good.
Ambassador, you look terrible. What can I do for you?
I needed to talk to you. I think something happened when we were in the conference room.
Many things happened, Ambassador.
No, I know. What I mean is that whenever whatever psychic attack occurred on us, somehow it my empathic abilities became tangled up. Shannara says that, well, my health isn't what matters right now. The point is, I think that I've become psychically entangled with everyone who was in the room at the time.
Everyone.
Yes. What I'm saying is that I think I can find them.
That's helpful.
But you'll need to take me with you.
Less helpful. Ambassador, what arms training do you have?
I benefited from a classical education on Betazid, which includes the standard manual of arms. However, I will be honest with you, in my current physical condition, I'm not sure how much good that training is going to be.
Can you point a phaser?
I can point and click, yes.
Then that's what we will have you do. Lieutenant, may I have your phaser? And I will just point at one of the lieutenants working in the corner.
Commander, we don't just carry those on ship with us.
What?
We're not security.
We have nope. This is why we keep failing the testing. 6 out of 10 times the captain dies. And I will say, Ambassador, if you would please join me. Do you need a mobility aid of any kind, or can you keep up?
No, I think I should be fine. Shannara? And Shannara goes and helps her sit up and affixes a little blinky pump to her arm.
Uh-huh.
All right, this is going to administer a drip of cortisone. I cannot stress enough that this is a bandage. This is not a cure.
Shannara. Bandaging what?
And Katith tries to brush it off, and Shannara interrupts her and just says bluntly, "The ambassador is dying."
Oh.
And
Ambassador, this is information, frankly, I needed.
And this is why I didn't tell you. Because if you're going to find them through the communications block, you'll need my abilities to find them.
Oh,
also,
I was not going to stop you, Ambassador. This just simply moves my time frame up.
Well, I'm certainly not going to try and slow you down. At least, not if I can help it. That said, Commander, I need you to make me a promise.
I am listening.
One way or the other, if we manage to stop this, we manage to rescue everyone, and we manage to stop this this coup or whatever is happening. The negotiations happen. And they happen tomorrow.
A challenge, Ambassador. I am more than willing to take on. Let's go. Which one was it? Lieutenant Adam, who is like Reen's like number 2.
Yeah,
on
Lieutenant
the
Adam.
side?
Yes, Lieutenant Adam is a blue shirt in science,
Okay.
and then Lieutenant Aset is engineering.
Okay, I will point at the two of them. Which one of you can point me in the direction of somebody good at getting communications down to the planet?
There's going to be Lieutenant Aset that raises her hand. I have Lieutenant. I need names. Somebody's
I'm so sorry.
Somebody donate $5 and give me a name.
Genuinely, in my home games, like it's gotten so bad that every time I ask for an NPC name, they're like, their name's Cassidy. That's their fucking name. Because I'm like, I need to know what to call people. I'm sorry. I'll just be like, point me towards an ensign that you trust to get communication down to Reen and Nyko. So, yeah.
And at that point, also, Adam sort of flags you down and says, sorry, forgive me. Yes, forgive me, Lieutenant. We have made some breakthroughs. So this, and he holds up an armband.
Mm-hmm.
This should indicate to you the presence of potential psychic interference. We haven't been able to get it reliably down to be able to determine the specific nature of it. That we were hoping to have like a whole system of lights for different emotions.
Does it point me in a direction, Lieutenant?
Yeah, just fucking grip it and rip it, baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
So, unfortunately, no.
Chester.
It's Chester, Ensign Chester.
Ensign Chester. I treasure them already.
And
The Chaz.
like Ensign Binks, Ensign Chester is also a Catian.
Oh yes.
A lot of Catians on this ship.
Kitties.
But unfortunately, no. It can't be used to directly triangulate the position of it, but it will let you know when you are in a field of psychic interference. It will let you know when you are being targeted, and when the area around when the area around you is being targeted.
So I wear it, get it to Reen. Reen makes it maybe a little more fine-tuned on the fly. Got it.
Yes. And the other thing is this. Hands over a pad. The guard who we think helped trigger the device in the conference
Aquila.
room. No, the one that Aquila killed.
Oh, okay.
Yes, whose name I've forgotten that I'm not going to look them up because they're dead.
Yeah.
They were the only one that was not displaying the biological symptoms of the interference. We think that they had inoculated themselves.
Ooh.
We think that we have been able to isolate the psychochemical cocktail that was able to temporarily inoculate them from the psychic interference. I think the idea was that they wanted the person pulling the trigger to be able to have a cool head. Now, this is not a permanent inoculation. It's more of a crash. But we do have a compound, and we do think that it will work in an emergency.
I just hold my arm out and roll the sleeve up.
I would recommend actually just Here's a hypo spray. In fact,
Thank
here
you.
is a small kit full of hypo sprays.
How many do I have?
You have 5.
That's dangerous, Brendan.
We are working on trying to replicate more, but if you can find someone who can assist with fabrication and distribution on the surface.
We met a very nice doctor today. All right.
I love him.
Multi-purpose doctor. Cool. Okay, so I have xenomorph detector for psychic interference. I have 5 hyposprays of inoculant for psychic interference. I have a very sick Beta Z. And I have Ensign Chester, who I'm going to tell to piggyback off of the Romulan communication corridor and see if they can hijack it to get communication down to the surface to let our Klingon friend know I'm coming.
Okay, yeah, I think Chester is able to, he's not able to get a like a full message out, but he's at least able to get like a ping that is like, hey, I'm trying to make contact and I'm going to rendezvous with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Brendan, the plan.
Yeah.
Once that goes, and maybe I don't know if what is the doctor's name again? Oh my god, I just fully left my brain.
Oh, on the surface?
That's Borat, son of Gorath.
Yes.
Yeah, Borat, son of Gorath.
Borat.
Yeah, Borat. Because I keep wanting to call him Borat, which is not his name. Okay, so if Borat's able to get communication back,
cease.
Sure. No. So I want to see if Borat can get not Borat. Tired, the accent slipping. Borat can get communication back confirming, maybe a suggestion for where to rendezvous, and then the magical transporter team who transported me from free fall, I want to see if they can get us down there and hide our transporter signal from the Romulan warbirds that I assume are hovering around the planet. Plus, I don't personally know this in character, but the Breen, I'm assuming, who are lurking.
Yeah, so they are able to essentially jury rig a system where they can transport you to. They can't bring a larger team. Like, unfortunately, you can't bring like a security detail with you. They've got just enough wiggle room with for them to be able to time it. Basically, piggybacking on that communications corridor, that communications flicker that the Romulans are using. The very briefest gap in the jamming to lower the Gallant shields without being detected, transport you two and bring them back up without the Romulans being able to detect it on their sensors.
Okay.
But the downside is that it's just you two.
Yeah, that's fine. I forgot to say this beforehand. I am pulling out some of my civilian clothing. And like doing something to my hair to make it a little less like obvious it's my face. But I'm trying to blend in, and Kadith is not coming down in a fucking ball gown.
No. At this point, Kadith is not standing on fashion in her current condition.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Then as soon as we're able to get down, going to fight Borat, son of Gorath.
All right. And as you guys dematerialize to get into the shenanigans, we are going to take a quick 10-minute break. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
We shall return.
Nothing can go wrong.
I have
the the little like green with the hole in it at the end of the hallway, and he'll be on calls, and I'll just hear thunk and roll. And I'm like, I cannot concentrate because it's just irregular enough that I never know what it is until I see him walk by to pick up his fucking golf ball. And I'm like, I'm going to hide it from you. Stop it.
Nah, at work, we only leave our desks if we're gonna go talk mad shit.
Yeah.
We just get up to go to someone else's office and be like, did you fucking hear?
Uh-huh.
We're like, we can't talk about this on Teams. We gotta.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
This can't be in writing.
Yeah, our team's messages have to be monitored because of the SEC, and so like they have to be logged. And I'm like, I can't say things in Teams.
No. The government can't have a record of this.
I will never forget.
Exactly.
I will never forget when we were in the transitionary phase from one email system to the other, and the old email system had its own in-house instant messaging thing. And I'll never forget being on a Teams call with people in Germany doing a training. I was running the training, and then out of nowhere from the other system pops up right in the middle of my shared screen a message from one of my coworkers that just says, "Can we start drinking yet?" And I just went, I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. I just dragged it right off the screen. I just kept going. And I was like, I'm not going to look at anybody. I'm not going to make eye contact. Nobody knows.
Yeah, that's okay.
Nobody's
My best friend was in a Teams meeting with her boss and his boss one time, and they were training new people. And the trainee she had been assigned was in there, and she was drinking like, I think said she was just drinking like juice, but it was out of a stemless wine glass because that's all she had clean. And her trainee reported her for drinking on the job because she didn't like her. And she's like, my boss and my boss's boss were also in this meeting, you dumb bitch. How dumb do you think I am?
No.
Yeah.
I have. Oh gosh, I have stories of people who, at least one guy in particular, who thought that he was muted on a call and he was not, and so he doesn't work there anymore.
Was he doing something spicy, Brendan?
No, he had opinions that he thought he was saying. He thought he was saying them out loud, but he thought he was saying them out loud with his inside computer voice and not with his outside computer voice. Yeah. He's not there anymore. Anyway. So speaking of spicy things, speaking of that hot goss,
We're gonna see hot Klingon doctor.
Well, I was actually going to say, we're pivoting first over to Reen and Bard. What tea you spilling in your little force field prison?
I think
Are we ready? Are we ready to try to pull this off?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think we're actually talking about any real gossip. I think we are straight up I did
not think that you would be under the circumstances.
I mean, I'm sure we chatted a little bit of mad shit, but like while we were scraping.
Back to Sosa and Nico, and it's just like as like filing the shiv, being like, oh my god, like you and that doctor are making eyes at each other.
It's like, you know what? If things go badly on this planet, I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk to him. How embarrassing is that? I fucked up my first diplomatic assignment.
You have to live. You have to live, if for no other reason, so you can smooch that hot doctor.
All right, are we ready for violence? I think we're ready
for violence.
That's an amazing thing there. You have to live so you can smooch that hot doctor. All right, are we ready for violence?
Let's go.
That conversation did not pass the Bechdel test.
That honestly, but great quote.
Shania, the beginning of Shania Twain's "Man, I Feel Like a Woman" plays.
Let's go, girls.
That's just the soundtrack of this fight scene, because this fight scene is gonna go real well. It's gonna go real well.
It's Deadpool 4.
Deadpool 4. Sosa and Naiko fighting their way out of this fucking little warehouse. All right.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna
be super good. Super good, super great, super cool. Yeah. So while Sosa braces for force field stabbing, I'm gonna prepare myself to jump one of these Breen and rip their little suit apart so that I can steal their gun.
All right. So Sosa will wrap hand in that draw cloth or whatever it is we've been using to like prop her up in the first place. And then she's going to hold the shiv and just start applying the pressure to try and get this force field to overload.
You're gonna stab the force field dead. Yeah.
I'm stabbing it dead.
Yeah.
I'm stabbing it dead.
All right. Well,
but like scientifically.
Yes. Yeah. Methodically, precisionally, medically. So go ahead and give me a control science.
That is 2 successes.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Also, for no particular reason, go ahead and give me a control medicine.
One success.
Okay. Cool. You stab this force field with the spar from the crate that has some of its exposed internal metallurgy. And true to Naiko's predictions, it is causing a violent feedback reaction in the force field that definitely gets the Breen's attention. And you hear them barking back and forth at each other, even through the universal translator. Like you know what it is essentially they're saying, which is like, what the heck? Shoot them. I can't. The force field. Well, then turn it off. So, and you were also able to do this without significantly causing your injuries to worsen. It's very painful to do this, but you're pretty sure nothing has started bleeding that wasn't already.
I think I'm banking on.
We call that a win. And one of the Breen goes over and turns off the emitter, and Naiko.
I'm gonna jump the one that's got the gun pointed at us.
Okay.
I'm gonna go and fuck up his little suit so that he, has some problems.
So this little suit.
Just a little problem.
Okay.
A little problem. It'll be fine. It'll be good and cool and.
All right. I'm going to call this this is going to be a daring security.
Okay. I keep opening the character sheet that's for the ship, not myself.
I know, right?
Daring security, which will be... You gotta roll under 12.
You got these.
That's an 11 and a 4, so that's 2 successes. And I don't know if my focus and hazard awareness would apply here, given, that there is a gun pointed at me and I find that hazardous.
I'm gonna say no in this particular circumstance, but you still got 2 successes. So you are able to puncture this Breen's suit, and there is a jet of super cooled gases that is now hemorrhaging essentially into the surrounding area, which is creating even more chaos. You are wrestling with the Breen for their disruptor. The other Breen, who has just turned off the emitter, goes and levels their own disruptor in your direction, but because you are wrestling with them, and also now there is all of this fog basically that is jetting out of this Breen suit. They have not shot yet because they are clearly trying to draw a bead on you through the chaos without shooting their comrade.
In the chaos, can Sosa make a break for their gear that Nico had pointed out earlier? It's just like and was in sight this whole time. We just couldn't reach it because of the force field.
Yeah,
grab that
sure.
phaser.
Yeah, this is going to be another daring. Go ahead and make a daring. Let's call it a daring. Let's take security again.
Okay. Unfortunately, no successes.
I think.
Wait.
Go ahead.
So I can do one of 2 things. Because I don't think this game lets me do both. I don't think this game lets me stack talents, because we can either do backup plans, which is whenever me or an ally in a scene fail a task, we can add 1 to the momentum pool. Or as an advisor, whenever I assist another character using my command, the assisted character may re-roll 1d20. This is the plan.
So I'm going to say you can't use either of those just because you are currently already you're engaged. You are engaged with disabling this Breen suit and also trying to wrestle their disruptor away from them.
I think backup plan would still affect. It says I don't have to be doing anything in the scene. I just have to physically be here.
Be in the scene. Okay, so whenever you or an ally fail in a task, you add 1 momentum to the pool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. In that case, go ahead and add a momentum to the pool. That brings you to 8 momentum. You've got a lot of momentum. So if you want to spend some momentum,
we
go ahead.
We need to save them all for the boss fight, where we will still not use them because maybe there's a second stage that's even more challenging in the boss fight.
God, you are so correct. It's true.
Guys, I will tell you, if you don't use the momentum, I have a feeling my luck is going to be real bad coming up, and I will start using them. So
that's fine.
I'm just real bad about you. I'm just real bad about that kind of shit. Okay, but anyways, yeah, I'd say okay. So Sosa fails. So I'm gonna say she starts to try to like sort of almost like crawl across scamper across the floor, and she just suddenly feels like something like tear, and it's just like and like just collapses on the floor. I mean, she's got a fucking disruptor burn.
Yeah, I think it makes sense under the circumstances. Like you try to dart for your equipment, but you are still injured. And it's too much too fast.
So I, get a couple feet closer maybe and just like collapse again. Yeah. And so it's like, yeah. But I'm not where I was before. So if the Breen can't see me, at least if they shoot where I last was, I won't be there.
Yeah. Okay. So in that case, we're going to go. So basically how this is going to go is Breen, Nico, Breen, Sosa. And first up is the Breen that Nico is wrestling with. Cool. And they are going to be attempting to basically shove Nico off of them so that they can shoot them.
Can I resist? what are the rules here for fighting back?
Okay. So they got one success. I will let you roll fitness security. But you have to I'm going to say beat them. You need 2 successes on a fitness security roll to just hang on like a crab.
You got
Okay.
this.
Okay, I'm gonna spend, what is it? I'm gonna spend, is it 1 momentum to get an extra die? Is that how
1
that works?
momentum to get an extra die.
I'll do it. I'm gonna roll 3
Yeah.
dice instead of 2 for fitness
Into
security.
our wealth.
And so I have to beat.
Yeah, so you need to get at least 2 successes.
That would be 2 because I rolled a 17 on 1, which would have been a fail, but then I rolled a 5 and I rolled an 11, and I have to beat. I have to be under 12.
Okay.
Yeah. Using the momentum.
All right. Yeah.
That 17 scared me for a minute. I saw that and I was like, "You bastard!"
Well, that's why we have the extra dice. Yeah, it is tough to hang on. This Breen is strong. Even with them, you can hear their labored breathing inside of their suit. But like a cornered rat, they are fighting. But you are able to keep them grappled. And it's going to be your turn now. And I guess your plan is to try to get the disruptor away from them, basically.
I mean, if I can't get it out of their hands, I'm gonna just try to like turn it and like shoot them in their own gut with it.
Okay.
And just, whatever works.
Well, so I'm gonna say you can have your goal be to get the disruptor away so you have it, or you can have your goal be to shoot them with their own gun. Which of those do you want to do?
I know what Julia wants to do, which is not, which is violence. But I guess Nico wouldn't immediately try to shoot them in the stomach. So I will just try to take their gun from them.
Okay. Threaten violence before enacting violence. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and give me a daring security.
$11 and a 14, so that's 1 success.
Okay. Get them quick. Okay. They are not able to beat you, so they are struggling as you hear them gasping for atmosphere, and that you are able to sort of kick them away, and they lose their grip on the disruptor, and you now have the disruptor. Are you pointing it at them, or are you pointing it back at the other one that has a disruptor, trying to draw a bead on you?
Hold on.
The child.
That's odds. I'm pointing it at the dying breed, and I'm looking at the other one, and I'm gonna say real quick. I'm like, you can shoot me and I'll shoot them, or you can put your gun down and you can try to save them. And I have negotiation as one of my focuses.
Okay, yeah, sure. I will let you make a let's call it this could be a presence command.
Okay. Oh yeah, so that's a 10 and a 1. Those are both successes, and a 1 is a critical success.
Yep, yeah, that's extra. And there is a moment's hesitation from the Breen. Give me a quick high low.
Highs.
The Breen hesitates for a moment, finally lowers their disruptor, doesn't put it down, but they lower it and says something garbled to you through their helmet and begins sort of scooting along the wall to try and reach their injured comrade.
I will, with the disruptor still pointed at them, I will kind of like shuffle around the body so that I'm like closer to like Sosa, like in this like same kind of like similar pattern.
Yeah. Okay, and you were able to shimmy around to where Sosa is. Sosa, you were able to pick yourself up and start grabbing your equipment. And
rad.
At this point, the other Breen is now still has their disruptor in one hand, but their attention is fully diverted to their comrade who is slumped against the wall, and they are trying to sort of help affect like a field patch to their suit and appear to be fumbling around on their suit for a med kit, basically. So their attention is not directly focused on you for the moment.
They're close together?
Yes.
I'm going to turn that force field on before we run away.
Okay. All right.
Just going to reach over and boop. Goodbye.
All right. And
just gonna stand there with Sosa for a second and be like, okay. So that worked.
Great plan. Flawless execution. Let's go get me some medical attention, please.
Yeah.
And, you know, escape the planet that's apparently full of a bunch of rebellion that we don't know who they are.
I don't know if it technically counts as rebellion yet because they aren't members of Starfleet. I think it's just unrest.
The planet could be rebelling. The planet's not part of the Federation, so would it be Federation who would be rebelling?
Mm-hmm.
We could discuss this more when I'm pumped full of the meds in sickbay.
That's true. You need a doctor. You need a doctor who has a doctor in a different...
Doctor. I'm not a medical doctor.
Yes, ma'am.
Speaking of doctors, Vimes, you were trying to make contact with Barot first?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm going to say probably you try to get back to the place where the clinic was set up before. Once you're on the planet, you still can't get comms with anybody.
Okay.
But you and Katith are able to make your way back to... able to make your way back to where the clinic was set up, not far from the negotiations building previously. It is potentially even more chaotic than it was before. It does appear that the streets are there's been visibly rioting has occurred in the area.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I want to get as close to Borot as possible and plant Kadith down on a gurney. Stay. And flag Borot down.
I received your message.
Yes. I have a gift. And I hand him 2 of the hypo sprays. And I'm going to say, these will inoculate the population to the unrest that is happening. It is being influenced by an artifact, working on getting to it. But in the meantime, you've got the only working equipment down here that can maybe inoculate groups at large. And I think you have the skills to do it. Do you?
I will see what I can do. We do have some equipment at the medical school I think I can use to try and start fabricating this quickly. I will send runners out to... we've been doing our best to try to provide field medicine where clashes happened, and some of my students have been trying to help form cordons between security forces and the protesters.
We left some medical personnel down here. Did we leave any security personnel? I don't remember.
You did.
Okay, I thought I did. Okay, I will give him a code phrase that I have made security memorize. I'm naming you acting commander of my security forces, Doctor. Consider them yours. If they haven't already been helping already. If they haven't, let me know.
No, I believe Ensign Norbert and Lieutenant Huang have both been quite helpful.
Good. They're yours. While I take the ambassador here to restart negotiations, let's call it. If you see Sergeant Aquila, shoot on sight.
Ooh.
Stun.
I will shoot Sergeant Aquila nicely.
Thank you. I know doctors have issues harming people sometimes, but trust me on this one, they are integrally involved in all of this.
You mentioned something about the unrest being fabricated.
Yes.
I've seen significant agitation among particularly the Romulan citizens.
Yes.
Thankfully, it seems as though my Klingon staff are largely unaffected.
Should be largely unaffected. It is a side effect of our genetics. The shared Vulcan and Romulan heritage from before we split as species. We are particularly susceptible to the artifact they are using.
I will do my best to get this replicated and begin inoculating as many people as we can. Though, if you can do anything,
aerosolize it, then great.
I'll see what we can do. Though, if you can do anything about the source of whatever this is,
that's what we're aiming for. And I will glance to Kadith. You don't sense Aquila nearby, do you?
No, I don't think so. It's hard to shut everything out. It's like ever since the attack, it's like I haven't been able to shut the doors completely. Since so much rage. It's like a thermometer ready to burst. And in fact, you actually, Vimes, you are actually getting some slight beeping from your armband.
Do I have a distance? Or like, is there any kind of like proximity?
Give me an insight security.
Okay. That's gonna be 14. Okay. That's a 10 and a 6.
You are able to measure a certain degree of intensity. It's not well calibrated for that, but there's enough that also with Katit's help, it seems like it is emanating strongly, at least near you, by one of the video screens that is overhanging the streets in Anzura City.
How high up?
Too high up to climb easily, but not too high up to phaser.
Pew pew. I would like to shoot it.
Okay. It's not like a firefight situation. I'm not going to make you roll to hit it.
Yeah.
It's a stationary target. Yeah, you phaser it and destroy it in a shower of sparks. And while the effect isn't immediate, the beeping fades, and Katith does indicate it seems as though that sense of unease is dissipating.
Doctor, for the safety of your patients, might I suggest destroying the local telecast?
See, a strict no screen time regimen.
Exactly. No more iPad children.
I will start enforcing doctor's orders immediately.
Thank you.
And you actually see he barks an order at one of his staff, and one of his staff over on the other side of the square. There is a screen hanging near there. That particular Klingon nurse just pulls a Decang out of their scrubs and just fully just like yeets it into the screen.
Doctor, I have the utmost respect for Klingons. I need you to know this.
Well, your respect was not sought, but it is welcome.
Pardon me, I need to go rescue my commander and the lieutenant commander.
Luck, Commander.
Thank you. Yeah, scamper off using Katith and the armband as kind of a homing beacon to try and find the wayward command crew.
And as you are doing that, Katith is sort of lagging behind you. They are doing their best to keep up.
Yeah.
You
I'm not
are
moving at speed, yeah.
Yeah, it is less fast than you really would like to, given the urgency of the situation. And Katith is doing their best, but they are definitely struggling. I can sense the others too. I can still sense Vani and Dodica. I can't hear them telepathically, but I can sense the distress. If we can get close to them, wherever they are, I may be able to communicate with them telepathically. They're representatives of the legitimate government. If they ask Starfleet for aid, then you can act.
I need your honest assessment, Ambassador. Do you trust them to do so?
I don't know if I can make them ask. I don't know if they would ask. All I know is that if they do ask for help, then Starfleet can intervene.
Then that's where we go. Let's get close. I'm going to be taking out any screens I see along the way. Kind of leaving a corridor of safety, question mark?
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And with that, we are going to pivot back over to Reen and Bard. So you leave the warehouse. I mean, obviously, like, the first thing you try to do when you get your comm badges back is try to reach anybody, and that's just not happening. Communications are completely scrambled.
Yeah, I think before we walk out in our uniforms, we'll scrounge around in the warehouse to find, if we can't find like a jacket to throw over our uniforms, at least like more of those tarps to try to fashion like a good old fashioned poncho out of.
So there, given that
Hell
it seems
yeah.
like this warehouse still has a lot of like Federation aid crates from 20 years ago. There do also appear to be clothes of various size in there too.
Yeah. So once we've effectively disguised ourselves and we go out into the world, we had been going towards the museum when we got essentially jumped and we started running around, and then we got captured. So we are in the city proper.
Yes.
I know about that medical school.
Yes.
Is the medical school closer to us in this part of the city than going all the way back to where we were having the negotiations?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Because I think that would be the better place to go than trying to cross an entire city with an injured comrade.
Yeah.
Because the only other thing Nico would want to do besides that is get over to the museum to see if what's fucking good over there with the exhibits. But doctors first. Nico really, really, really doesn't want to have to cut their good friend Sosarine open on these here streets. So skedaddling over to the medical school.
Yep. You are similarly, wishing that you could move a bit faster. Reen, you are doing your best, but it is difficult to even to jog. Really, the best you're really able to manage right now is a brisk power walk, just a solid mall walk.
Hip swinging.
Yeah. You are doing your best to make your way over towards the medical school. Unfortunately, your direct route is consistently thwarted by either trying to avoid security service patrols or things like burning barricades that have been set up at various points. And you are just about within sight of the medical school, but the street that lies between you and there is currently full of clashing rioters and security services.
Are there perhaps any unoccupied vehicles that might have hovering or flight capabilities? Because I have a focus called extravehicular activity.
Okay.
As well as all my engineering nonsense. So
Hell
could
yeah.
I maybe at this point find us a vehicle so that if we have to go the long way around, at least Sosa can do it off their feet.
Intriguing. All right. Give me high-low.
Lows.
Okay. Unfortunately, while there are vehicles on the street, none of them are operable at this point. They have basically all been destroyed or disabled.
Is all that noise happening behind me coming through, by the way?
Only some of it.
I was curious if you guys could hear the helicopter that is flying directly overhead from mine.
There's a lot of baby crimes going on over here, so.
Yeah, I had a helicopter earlier, but I happened to be muted at the time. So it was like, I don't even have to worry about that. But unfortunately, right now, one of my cats is like fighting the like mousy toy attached to this cat tree, like fighting for his life. So there's a lot of action happening like right over my shoulder in this area. So
I hear the occasional thump, which I think is them like slamming.
Yeah.
Full body slam into this cat tree going after this like little mouse toy. Yes.
There has been,
but it looks like he got overstimulated and ran away somewhere else. So the noises should stop.
Yeah.
Just consider background riot noise in the city.
Yeah,
it's ambiance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are several vehicles have been destroyed. A couple of them have been disabled. You could potentially try to get a disabled vehicle working again.
What do you think, Sosa? Should I try to jump one of these, or do you think we can? Do you think you can make it if we go around the block?
I think it's better if we just keep moving. We don't want to stay in one place for too long. Like, who knows if we'll get noticed if we start doing something like that.
All right, well, we definitely don't want to walk straight through the riot, so I guess we will try to circumvent that as best we can without going too far out of our way. Unless Sosa is brave enough to try to slip through the riot. We were already very brave today.
Yeah. She's got a decent daring score, but she did already get shot and then like risk her life with the whole breakout. So I think she's probably good on taking things a little bit easier for now.
We will take the long way around this block to avoid the riots to get to the.
Okay.
Try to play it safe.
Go ahead and give me both of you a control security.
Okie dokie.
That's promising.
That's a 4 and a 1.
Okay, I got 1 success. Not anything as good as that, but
so that's what 1 success and 3 successes.
Yeah. Try to make our way downtown. Yep. Not walking fast. Faces do be passing. We are not homebound.
So I think you are pretty successful at doing that. Tell me what that looks like. Tell me what your tactics are.
I think it's reasonable to assume that there are injured people out in these streets. So I don't think it is particularly suspicious looking to see a pair of people, like one person leaning on the other as they try to make their way down the street. And I think we're just like sticking close to the wall, keeping our heads down. And I think it's very much, I suspect other people who were not privy to the fact that there was going to be a riot are probably acting pretty similar. So I think just keep our heads down, keep our little ponchos close to keep our colors muted, and just being as we are, which is injured parties.
Okay, and I think you actually ultimately run into a medical tent that is being manned by a couple of the Klingon medical students.
Yes.
You're not at the med school yet, but you have found medical assistants and people who know how to get to the school.
I will lead Sosa into the tent. I will say to one of the Klingon students in Klingon, are you some of Barot, son of Gorth students? We are in great need of your aid.
Then our aid is given.
I will deposit. I will just then not throw Sosa at them, but Naiko would very much like somebody to take care of Sosa very quickly, so Naiko does not have to cut their friend apart on these here streets.
Yeah.
Here you go. And then I will kind of stand out of the way where I can still see outside the tent, so I can keep an eye on what's the business there. Yeah. Keep trying my communicator to see if anything has changed, even though I don't think it will.
No, busy signal. Boop, 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 boop. And Sosa, you are able to get patched up. You are no longer injured.
Yay!
Yay! Still hurts. You are given hypospray of some cortisone. The Klingon nurse who is working on you apologizes. Their dermal regenerator has run out of charge with the number of people they have treated today, and they haven't been able to get a new one from the school yet. So they are, for the time being, treating your injuries with like regenerative bandages that are going to take longer. So you're still feeling pretty beat up, but you're going to be okay, and you're no longer in danger of immediate internal bleeding.
Awesome. Go me for surviving.
You did it. You survived
Yay.
You survived a second green gunshot to the chest.
Hell yeah.
So, doctor, nurse, I'm sorry, I'm not sure where you are in your education. Have you been able to get any communications to anyone since this all started?
No. Communications are completely blacked out aside from the broadcasts from the media screens. And those are not very helpful. We have been using a system of runners to communicate.
That is suspicious that the only thing working right now is the media. You would think the government would take priority.
I am not here to comment on the political situation. I am here to help who needs help.
And we appreciate it. Are there any runners available who I might be able to borrow for a moment?
As soon as one is available. We are waiting for one to return from the last run. As soon as they have had a chance to rest, we will dispatch another one. We're trying to keep them rotating so as to not exhaust them.
Understandable, especially since there doesn't seem to be any sign of how long this will go on.
No, it's every time that it seems as though the violence is finally beginning to ebb, there's some new spark, some new crescendo, and it just erupts all over again, like a wound reopening.
It's a device. It's we're not entirely sure where it is, but we are pretty confident that it's at the museum. At least part of it was or is. It's De Bruyne. Amplification of signals and psychic
That is
domination.
That is helpful. We'll see if we can use that in helping to treat some of the wounded, perhaps some adrenal suppressants.
It's most volatile against the Romulan and Vulcan genetic makeup, but it seems that it does have some influence over other humanoid species as well.
I see. And it is about that time that the runner they had sent returns, and they are actually bearing a small number of hypo sprays, and they explain what was explained to Barat.
Oh, Sosa, you hear that? Vimes made it onto the planet.
Yay.
Made it off the planet and then back onto the planet.
Yeah, you guys don't know about my brief exit. You do know I returned.
Yep. Guess who's back? Back again.
Guess who's back?
Yeah. So this is all great news. Great news, good news. I think I'll ask the runner. I don't know how long ago you left, but did you see where the Starfleet officer went with the ambassador, or?
She's able to give you a direction, which, based on where they were, you can sort of triangulate a general direction into the city. Seems like it is moving in the general direction of the museum.
So do you think you can make it to the museum?
Yeah, let's do this.
I mean, you're at this point you are feeling like better than you have since you were injured. Like, it hurts to exert yourself, but you were in no physical danger from doing so.
Hell yeah.
Oh, did Jen freeze for anyone else?
No, but they do
okay.
look very pixelated for me.
Okay, they're back. Okay.
Yeah, I think we will thank our doctor friends for their help and discretion, and sneak on back out into the city to go run up on the museum, as was our original plan when we just wanted to be nice little cultural tourists.
We just wanted to go to the museum.
We just wanted to. The Ambassador Dodica helped set up the museum exhibit, which does make me a little bit sad, because now as I am forced to look at all of these people under a new lens, now I have to be suspicious about it. I wasn't before, but now I have to be. I liked Dodica. Damn it. But now I gotta go check out the museum and see if their exhibit is actually secretly a fucking weapon. This sucks. I don't like diplomatic missions.
This is Nico realizing they've been friends with with Vimes for too long.
I want to go back in my Jeffries tube and be left alone. This is bullshit.
All right, so you were trying to make your way over to the museum?
Mm-hmm. Try to make our way over to the museum, see if we can meet back up with Vimes, and if not, at least get to the museum and see if we can suss out what's going on in there.
Okay. We're going to pivot back over to Vimes and Katith.
Yes. Aiming to find Dodica and the sister.
Yes, Vani.
Yes.
And I'm going to go ahead and have you also make a control security roll.
15. Okay.
It's not bad. It's not a bad roll.
I dumped all my stats into that. That's a 12. And that's too dark to see. A 10. 12 and a 10.
Okay. Yeah, 2 successes. Even with like bringing a sickly Katith with you, you occasionally have to re-find your bearings because you know Katith is kind of triangulating based on their empathic abilities, but similarly to your fellow officers, your straight line is often blocked by security patrols or rioting or barricades. But you are also able to pretty deftly avoid most of the security services. Just from a combination of your own background, ducking in and out of alleyways, very similar to this, where you grew up, and your knowledge of Romulan military protocols. I mean, they are not themselves part of the Romulan military, but you know, all of their training is Romulan.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. How close do we have to get?
We're definitely getting close. I can't quite hear their thoughts. Once I can hear their thoughts, I can try to make contact. Sense them very strongly now. They're definitely being held in there. And she points at a sizable building. There's Jodica is in there, Vani is in there. I think there are others as well that I'm sensing similar emotions from. They're being held prisoner. I think this has to be other members of the government.
Yes. It would make the most sense. Okay. Pause for just a moment. Do you sense the commander and lieutenant commander? Do they were in the room?
I can sense them. There was flashes of violence, concern. I was afraid for a moment that I could no longer sense Lieutenant Commander Reen, but I can sense them again.
Okay.
They were very faint for a moment, but I do sense it more strongly now. I think they're also near, though not inside.
Close enough to talk to?
Maybe. Give me a moment.
Thank you.
And yeah, I think Bard and Reen, as you are getting closer, Nico, you were the one who wins the draw because you were the one who was assigned to the diplomatic detail, so you're their friend. And
oh, cool.
You hear a voice in your head. Commander Bard, Commander.
I think Nico fully stops moving, which is probably very abrupt for Sosa, for us to be like making our way downtown, and then I just completely just.
Commander Bard.
Yeah.
Commander Bard.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Nico, can I call you Nico?
Sure. Who is this?
This is Ambassador Katith.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I apologize for the psychic intrusion. I am with Commander Vimes.
Good. Vimes will keep you safe.
Are you safe?
We are out in these streets, but we are okay for right now. We are disguised. We are in one piece. We've got all of our stuff back, although comms aren't working. Is that why you're calling me like this?
Yes, I am sorry. There was no other way. And with coordination between the four of you, now that you have Katith as a relay, we were able to unsplit this party.
Oh fuck yeah! I do think. I think. I do think Maiko turns to Sosa at one point and is like, "I'm not gonna lie. I thought she was dead for a minute. I thought I was being haunted."
The whisper, Brendan, was a lot.
I thought I was being haunted.
That's fair. You know, probably not the weirdest thing that's happened this mission.
That's so true.
Woozy. We should probably get indoors.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay. Are we able to meet up?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. You are all able to find an alley.
Okay.
You meet up. Everybody's in the same room.
Uncharacteristic show of emotion, and Vimes will hug the both of you and then promptly let you go.
And then back to business.
Wow, that's how you know it's serious.
And that was before we even told them that you almost died.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. She told me you almost died. Please don't do that.
Oh.
I don't know how to safely retrieve a symbiote.
I learned.
Didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, also, yeah, it wasn't on purpose. And, like, I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about just going around the sun about it and just going back in time by a day. But we don't have to do that now.
We do have a time frame. I made a promise to the ambassador. Negotiations are happening tomorrow, so we need to move this up. Also, Ambassador, do you have something you would like to tell the commander and lieutenant commander? Like, significant look.
Is it the psychic thing? Because I know they're psychic.
It's not.
Oh.
It is of a personal nature, and if the ambassador does not share it, I will, because it is pertinent information.
Are you dating one of the traitors?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just dying.
That.
Oh. Well, what are you doing here? You should be back in Medbay. No,
they should not.
This is like a martyrdom thing? Do you think this is going to help the negotiations if you die?
No. We're connected psychically after the attack. It's partly how I was able to locate you, and we're trying to locate Dodica and Vani. And we think that we found them and at least several other of the government officials being held prisoner in the museum.
Oh, good. That's where we were going.
2 Romulan warbirds are, well, one for sure, almost certainly the second one was cloaked, are circling the planet, unaware of exactly what's happening down here. We need Vani and Dodica, whichever one can be trusted, both of them perhaps, to ask Starfleet for assistance. Also, I have these, and I hand the armband to Sosa. This is a little homing beacon your proteges made to find our artifact. These are hyposprays to inoculate us against psychic interference. The closer we get, you might need 2 on me. So I'm saying perhaps we hold off on them until I start being more aggressive than usual.
Generally speaking, inoculation works best before you are actively exposed.
An emergency
so,
situation. And I was not given a time frame for how long it would last. So
like maybe we just like stab it into you before we walk into the room with everybody.
Yeah. I will say, yeah. Sosa, you doing like a sort of an analysis of it with your tricorder, like it could have some gnarly side effects.
all right,
So
fine.
like in the moment, preferable to having your emotions manipulated out of control. But there are some potentially gnarly side effects that you probably don't want to just like do if you don't have to.
Fine.
also, I was able to resist it once before. Maybe we will be able to use it on members of the security team that are not as sold on whatever is happening.
Not Aquila. They.
Yes. I had to jump out of a window with them.
Oh, they let us into a warehouse and Sosa got shot by a
That's how
Breen.
I got
The
shot.
Breen are here.
Breen!
Oh yeah,
Breen?
the Breen are here. We trapped 2 of them in a force field. That's how we got away. But yeah, they shot Sosa.
Yeah, they did.
The urge to use that well-informed thing again and give him one more threat.
Resist.
I mean, look, you've still got momentum outnumbering threat by more than double.
I do. The odds are currently in our favor, but I don't think that's gonna hold. Okay. No, we're not gonna do the well-informed. The Breen are a surprise. The Breen. Would I just casually know, like, if the Breen have been sighted in this area in the last?
I mean, it's one of those things where you know that, like, the Breen have over the last couple of decades, especially, been fucking around in flashpoints.
Yeah.
There is something of a bit of an intelligence tete-a-tete that has been going on between the Federation and the Breen for, I mean, honestly, basically since the last war ended.
Yeah. Okay, the Breen's
so it's one of those
involvement
things
makes a
where like
little more
you
sense.
you don't know necessarily of like specific Breen activities, but finding the Breen involved in some fuckery is not
a
the
surprise.
most shocking thing.
Yeah. Okay, so I think, Vimes would just be cataloging this information. Not a surprise. A surprise, but not unexpected. Okay. The Breen. Okay. Easy to take them out. They have suits. Okay. All right. Plan A, according to the ambassador, rely on the willingness of Vani and Dodica to work with us. She says they're being held against their will. That points in their favor, I believe. For now. Plan A. Plan B, we storm the place and figure it out.
Okay. Well,
Commander?
And I will say, so I will say, Nico, this does put you in a little bit of a pickle. As technically speaking, you now have the ability, you have basically, your Federation personnel are no longer in immediate danger. You do have the ability to basically say that you are going to take Starfleet personnel and leave and not interfere in an internal situation.
yeah.
Kadith is saying that Vani and Dodica will ask for help if you can get her close enough. But in order to do that, you will sort of have to be preemptively putting your finger on the scale of what is still technically an internal conflict outside of Federation sovereignty.
Because technically Plan B is not actually an option. We cannot do Plan B.
So as you are technically now officer in charge, so there are some things to weigh there. What Nico is comfortable doing.
Do I see Nico contemplating very openly on their face?
No, I think what you probably see is I'm more assessing Kadith.
Okay.
And what I'm
Kadith is mostly very sweaty right now.
Yeah.
Kadith's just sweaty.
just got the stress sweats.
The flop sweat.
Yeah.
We out of our duty of shared security to confirm the status and health of our fellow delegates in this negotiation, we will get closer so that you can make contact. But if they do not ask for our help, we will have to return to the Gallant.
Commander, I may also have some pertinent information. I may have confessed in front of much of the command structure, in front of a captain of the Romulan security forces, that I used to be a Tal Shiar agent. So technically, if they do not ask for help, I am not necessarily beholden to Federation authority. And I could go in.
That I have no doubt in our captain that there is a fair discussion waiting for you.
Oh, there's a discussion.
If you continue to follow Starfleet protocols. But if you choose to go AWOL out of interest of staying on this planet, that's a public declaration that we might not be able to help you with. You have to understand that, right?
I understand.
You confess to being a former spy, but if you violate Starfleet, you will just be a spy.
Yes.
So let's see how close we can get Kadith to the museum.
Let's see.
All right. Let's have everybody give me a control security.
Oh, God. Okay. I would like to roll single digits on this. What dice am I going to roll? This one's pretty. I'm going to burn a momentum. First dice I rolled was a 17. I'm burning a momentum.
Okay.
That's better. Double eights.
So it's 1 success for me.
2 for me.
1.
Okay, so everybody got at least 1 success. We have a double success in there as well.
The skin of my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take it. It's a success.
We take those. Anyone you walk away from, right? Although that remains to be seen. You know.
I feel like you're threatening Sosa a lot today.
I already shot Sosa. I haven't shot either of you yet.
Started with a brutal murder and shooting them. And then, like, we're going to have to maybe back alley surgery. Like, just a lot of hostility towards Sosa today. Feeling very targeted.
Sosa's done nothing wrong in any of their lives.
No, it's true. It's true. That's canonical.
Canonically,
Just
the Reen symbiote,
beans.
innocent. Halo floating around them at all times.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
This is known. You are able to get up to the museum. The actual entrances are all being guarded. They don't have guards posted outside, but you can see. So the museum is not like a military fortification. It's intended to be a public building. They don't have guards posted out. They don't have guards posted outside, but looking from the outside, you can see that just inside, like all of the doors, like the glass entryways, they have a pretty sizable garrison posted. There is a window, a second-story window, that you could get in through. You have not been spotted. And you are pretty confident that you could actively get inside. Kadeth is saying that unfortunately, she's not close enough yet. She was able to communicate with Reen and Bard over a longer distance before, but here, because you are so close to this psychic interference from something that is going on inside, probably the artifact that you were discussing, that she's not able to make telepathic contact from the inside. You will have to do some B&E if you want to get Kadeth inside and get close enough.
Oh, yeah.
Question is Nyko willing to do that B&E?
I think Nyko is, because like Nyko said, they have to establish they have to at least establish the security status of their fellow delegates. That is in the spirit of good and honest negotiations. Their safety is just as much our responsibility as our own safety. So I need to. So I feel like Nyko can justify the light B&E in the interest of making sure that like Dotika and Vani aren't actively being like held at knife point.
Okay, that is fair. Yes, and with your collective successes, you are able to all get in, even Kadeth, through a second story window. And you are in an administrative office that appears to be empty. Peeking out of the door, you can see down onto the floor of the museum itself. It's a pretty open area. There are a number of exhibits that are encased in glass or in force fields. There are guards patrolling. You can see that there appears to be a group of combined Romulans and Illyrians and a couple of Orions as well that are currently seated on couches in basically like around one of the exhibits. They have like those like couches that you could sit on to like admire art. They're all sort of piled on to a couple of those. And there are guards patrolling the room around them. And as you are assessing this, you do also spot Aquila down there.
Oh, okay. Cool. Does Aquila seem to be in charge?
You think Aquila's probably in charge, yeah.
There it is.
At least here. Like the Aquila seems to be in charge of this part of the operation.
This little group. Okay. Cool. All right. So we see that. I will look at the ambassador. You have one shot.
I am going to have Katif make a roll. I'm going to have them roll with Insight Command.
Mm-hmm. How good is that for them?
It's pretty good. Okay. Does anybody wants to try and assist them in any way?
Yeah, so I have Advisor, which will let them re-roll at least one of the d20s if one of them is unsatisfactory. So I would like to assist with that for sure, which is a command assist. Which is mostly
and
me.
We said, no, go ahead.
Yeah, normally assisting gives us. So I would roll a normal assist like Sosa did. Would be we would also roll the skill, and then if we succeed, we can add it to the pool. I don't think I can do that and use my advisor talent.
I think so. Yeah. So you just want to use your advisor talent then?
Yeah, I would like to have my advisor talent on deck.
Okay.
For if one of the dice comes up too high.
Well, why don't we go ahead and just say that if you want to use it, go ahead and use it before I make the roll.
My assistance roll or the advisor trait?
Your advisor trait.
So the advisor trait is whenever you assist another character using the big boy.
She's so cuddly.
Oh, look at those paws.
Yeah.
My son is asleep downstairs after being a menace. He's killed his third mouse of the year.
No.
We don't know where he's getting them because we see no evidence of us having mice. And then all of a sudden he's killed them. And we're like, where'd you get that?
Little claws.
That's why you don't find any evidence, because he's taking care of the problem.
Immediately. They walk into the house and he's immediately on them.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see if I can assist. What
does your assistance look like?
I think my assistance in this matter looks like probably like steadying them because they are shaky and sweaty, and I've been assessing that. And I think I am speaking encouragingly about what we are here to do and trying to keep them like focused in and not distracted by my the presence, our own like presence, but also Aquila and any of the guards down there who were also present in the room, in the negotiation room, so that they can just focus on Donica and Vani without like being overwhelmed by the other psyches that they are meshed with right now.
Okay. And I think also with that, Kadith sort of grasps your hand and looks at you, says, if I don't make it, I need you to see this through. I need you to promise me.
As long as there is a negotiation table, I will be at it.
They want us to believe that cooperation is impossible. They want us to believe that everything is power politics, that everything is conspiracies and mistrust. We have to fight for a better future. We have to fight for a future where we can bridge that gap. Please, Bard.
I will be at the negotiation table. Kate.
Okay. Edith concentrates, gripping your hand, Bard, like a vice, and you are a bit concerned that her hands are cold and white and bloodless, and seems as if it's a great deal of exertion. But finally, she opens her eyes, and you hear her say, She looks at you directly, Nico, and says, Commander Bard, the lawful government of Anzuris would like for me to officially convey that they are requesting Starfleet's assistance in stopping an illegal coup d'etat.
Starfleet is ready to render aid to the Anzuran government.
And settle a personal score, but of course.
Don't say that part where people can hear you, Vimes.
Vimes is like, yeah. I'm just like, yeah, violence time.
It's my job, y'all.
All right, so you guys have had your help now officially requested. You're legally in the clear.
Okay.
Now the question is, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do it?
We need a distraction.
We need a distraction. We need to destroy the communications blackout. We need to get Aquila out of that room.
I can get Aquila out of the room. That's not an issue.
I will raise one concern.
Yeah.
It is almost 11:30.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
So
it is.
So I'm going to say this is not. I don't think this is going to take that much longer.
Oh, good.
Like we are firmly in endgame for this arc.
Okay. I can get Aquila out of the room if Sosa can create a distraction to get some of the guards moved beforehand. I can get Aquila.
What if you just run across the open doorway and they see you and they just chase you like a cat and a mouse?
How many guards were there, Brendan? Because frankly, we are 2.5 capable officers right now. No offense to Sosa. Sosa's injured.
Honestly, me as a player is not that capable right now either. I'm hitting a wall, so I think I'm just really getting method about my character's injury.
Yeah.
It's really slowing down too.
So, I'm going to say that you see that there are probably about, you would count 7 or 8 guards down there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's fucking go. I have a demolitions focus. What would I have been able to bring from this ship? You are getting the patented Cassidy makes an improvised explosive question.
Okay. Well, I mean, in the spirit of ossuary, I feel as though I'm obliged to roll with that. So
yeah. Okay. I don't want anything that is going to damage the art of the museum, because I don't want to bring it down around our ears.
Well,
which explosions like classically are known for.
Well, but there's explosions, and then there's the
Star Trek explosions.
Boom,
well, here's the thing.
And then Star Trek explosions.
Here's the thing. We have a device we need to destroy and a communications blackout we need to turn off. Maybe you blow one of them up. It's a twofer. It's a distraction.
Museum.
Yeah.
My concern is they might not be in the museum.
The communications blackout, maybe. The device, I'm pretty sure, is here.
Here, yeah. If you guys can get
based
to
on
the device,
based on what Kadeth has said, that the artifact of the device, how they are performing the psychic manipulation that is being distributed through the media screens, is centered here.
okay.
So, yeah.
So perhaps we split the party again. Sosa and Kadeth go disable the device. You and I take out the guards.
Cool. All right. Team hanging on by a thread. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
If we're good with that.
I think it works.
Yeah.
I think it works. I think it makes the most sense. Okay. Cool. Permission to become, what did you call me that one time? A feral menace, Commander?
Permission granted.
Bet, Brendan.
Legally a feral menace. Yeah.
I'm going to leap off something high again.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to time it so Aquila's right below us.
Okay.
And I want to jump on him.
Okay. All right. You're just gonna fully just land on him.
Superhero landing. Let's go.
So are you trying to do this like in view of the guards, or are you trying to like thump them when they get like out of the room?
If I have that option, I will thump them when I get out of the room. When they get out of the room.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little tricky. Your window is pretty tight.
Let's fucking go.
But there is a way you can do it. They will be there's not like a door between you, but she'll at least be out of sight of the guards.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
What am I rolling?
All right, that's definitely it's decidedly daring.
Yeah.
I get that's it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a daring security. Yeah.
Okay.
Security covers so many of the violence roles. Yeah.
Could I argue for fitness?
I will let you do fitness. I'll let you do fitness.
Yeah. Okay. That's a whole 2 points higher. So, okay, that's a 15. Okay. 5 and 11. The dice gods are kind.
The dice gods are like, finish him.
Yes. Yeah. Aquila's female, correct?
Yes, but I was just referring to the Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
I just keep forgetting. Yeah. I just keep forgetting. I'm like, did I write that down somewhere? I don't remember.
Aquila is female. Mortal Kombat just says finish him.
Finish him.
Let's go.
Right.
Snatch by the face and whoop.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to do a gymnastics flip over this railing, and just Sam Fisher down on top of Aquila.
Yeah, phaser in the face. Hello. Utter anything other than a whisper, and this will not be set to stun.
That was implied.
I'm gonna do the good old fashioned to get the other guards out of the room. I'm thinking I'm just gonna lean over the railing and yell down into there where they all are. And I'm gonna Han Solo it a little bit, not to mix my franchises, but be like, hey, just straight up, just like, hey. Are one of you gonna come get me, or do I go down there? How about you all come get me?
All right, you're just gonna cheese it.
I'm just gonna cheese it, and then scamper.
Just a scamper. All right, okay.
Yeah.
So they don't all follow you, but they do send 2 people after you. Like they're not quite so dumb. They're gonna all chase after you, Keystone Cop style. But they do peel off 2 guards to chase after you. And
okay,
I will try to stun them. I have my device back.
All right. You're going to try to like ambush them and hit them with stun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. To get them both before they have a chance to get you, it's going to be a higher difficulty, so you have to get more successes. Go ahead and give me a in trying to get both of them in a 1-2. Hit me with daring security.
Okay. I will ask to use a momentum so that I have 3 dice.
Go ahead. You don't have to ask me to use momentum. You just gotta let me know so I mark it. The momentum's yours. I'm not gonna be like, no, you can't use it.
4, 9, and 8.
Okay, well that's pretty solid. So you got 3 successes?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that is sufficient. You are able to ambush them and hit them both with a very quick 1-2 stun. And at least two of the guards are unconscious. And meanwhile, back pivoting over to Vimes and Aquila. How can I help you, Commander?
You're not going to, and I'm going to stun her.
yeah, all right. It's fair enough. I'm not gonna make a roll for it. Like,
yeah,
just
it's a point blank shot.
No, yeah, just gonna just stun her right in the back. All right.
Yeah. Oh no, it in the chest. Like I'm gonna make it hurt.
Oh, all right. Okay.
I said personal.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
and then
stun
and then if
right
I
in the
can
coccyx.
Stun a couple more guards.
Okay. For that, I'm going to make you roll daring security.
Okay. Okay, so that's a 13.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a 12. Whoop! I dropped my dice. That's in the darkness. I can't see that. Fuck. 14. I'm going to use a momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And a 7. Okay. So 2 successes. Where did that dice go? Marco, where did Mama's dice go?
Okay, so tell you what. How do you feel about playing a little game?
I like games.
How do you feel about playing a little game?
I like games.
So 2 guards down, definitely far from you, and 2 from Bard. Now that still leaves 4 guards in the room. You're going full crazy two phaser mojo at this point. You're going full cowboy Starfleet at this point. You've used all your dice for this roll, but there's still 4 momentum in the pool. Do you want to keep fishing for additional successes? If you can get at least 4 more successes, you can take out all the guards in the room.
I don't want
if you want to
to
spend the rest of your momentum.
I feel like it would be appropriate to do if this is the end of the arc.
Yeah.
And we are going to have a little rest episode after this.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's just get this room cleared.
Put that $20 donation to work.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna roll the button beard dice.
Okay.
You hear it shake. It's very ASMR. That is a 12. This is still a daring security.
Still daring. This is okay. I think trying to just fully Neo this entire room is pretty daring.
So 1 success.
Okay.
That's a 1.
Which counts as 2.
That 2 counts as 2.
Nice.
And a 13 exactly.
Okay. Meets beats.
So is that all I needed?
That's
4?
all you needed. Yeah.
Okay, let's save 1 momentum.
And you only used
3 momentum.
We still got 1 in the pool.
Still 1 in
We're
the pool.
going in there for 1.
So
in case Sosa needs it to destroy this machine.
So
that's my thinking.
Or just survive,
Yeah,
that too.
also that. So do you want to just real quick? Do you want to tell me what the scene looks like here?
I think what I do is I rip whatever weapon Aquila had on them off of their out of their hands, I assume.
Yeah. So you got a phaser in one hand and a disruptor in the other.
Yeah. Pew, 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 pew. And then I point both weapons at the group of delegates and diplomats and whatever the fuck they are. And I say, I hear you requested Starfleet to rescue you.
Cool. All right, we're gonna pivot over to Sosa and Kadith.
Awesome.
Both of you guys kind of limping down the hallway. And Kadith.
I mean, I'm probably supporting her because
it's true. Yeah, you're actually doing pretty good at this point. She's not doing so hot. Yeah.
You know, I might be a little tender, but like I'm technically all correct at this point.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, Kadith's the one who needs some help at this point.
Yeah.
But she's able to guide you to it's not really hidden particularly. It's another room in the exhibit. There is a large object that it was in a case, but that case has basically been dismantled. And there's been a bunch of wires and such connected to it.
How dare. Okay, so the sensor that I have presumably is being like, yeah, that's fucking cool.
It's going. It's just kind of like a constant tone. It's kind of annoying, honestly.
Cool.
You're really got to talk to a set about the haptics on that thing.
Yeah. So I would like to fuck this shit up.
Okay.
Probably not going to try to actively destroy the artifact because, like, I really want to study it.
That is very, again. So, like, there is a very straightforward way that you can stop this.
I just want to destroy the amplifier, presumably, is what all these wires and shit are.
Yes, yeah, that is turning it on and that is amplifying it and connecting it to the media network.
Okay, cool. So then I would like to try to just be like, all right, Kadith, just sort of like keep a mental senses out for anyone coming in, like coming our way. I'm going to take this thing out. And hopefully that will also help your condition.
Yeah. All right, we're going to try and like diffuse this bomb.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm going to treat it like. I'm going to call this a control science. This is going to require some delicate wire cuttery.
Okay. Do we want me to use momentum for this since this seems important? We only have one left. Is that a yes, Cass?
Yeah. Use it.
Yeah.
Use it.
Okay. Cool. Cool. So I just get to add another die, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is one success unless I can claim a focus. No, I don't think I can do that. Okay. So one success, but wait, that's right. I haven't actually spent my momentum yet because I only had 2 d20s. Ah, fuck. Okay. That doesn't help either. But I am going to use patient, which is my species ability.
Okay.
So when you succeed at a task where you purchased 1 or more d20s by spending momentum, you generate 1 bonus momentum. For each d20 purchased. So, but then this bonus momentum may not be safe, so I'm not entirely sure how bonus momentum works, but...
Does that mean it has to be used in the session? Because if so...
Yeah, you use it in the roll, and also it can be used to sort of like modify the result to make like, so like if you succeeded, I want to succeed like extra more.
All right. Okay, so that, if I just burn that bonus momentum, I would then get 2 successes.
Okay.
Instead of the 1 success.
Okay. Yep. I think, yeah, with your patience, you are able to just sort of focus through everything that is going on, and you are able to sort of, you know, mopping your brow occasionally, disconnecting the various wires and cables, narrowly at one point avoiding a nasty backfeed from it. But you are ultimately able to disconnect it and power it down.
Yeah.
And
Go team.
it takes a moment, but yeah, the sensor on your armband begins to slow, like almost like a heartbeat that has been just like raging out of control. It starts slow, it starts to calm, and there is just a palpable tension that has been in the air for hours at this point, that feels like it is dissipating, it is lifting like a fog. And now this in and of itself doesn't stop everything. It doesn't stop all of the unrest that is occurring. But you are able to use the guards' sort of communications backdoor, and the delegates are able to contact other members of the Zuran security forces who were not told of everything that was going on, who were not necessarily all gung-ho about the coup part of this whole thing. And it rapidly becomes clear to the remaining coup participants that their position is unraveling.
Hell yeah.
Take
that, losers.
as you are able to, the final straw, there's also a long tense moment as you are sort of waiting to see if there's going to be more security forces that are going to kind of try to come in and essentially like finish the job, try to just assassinate you and the remainder of the delegates. But ultimately you get a chirp on your comm badge.
Huh. Is it Chester?
No, it's Captain Selleck, actually.
Oh.
Number one, come in. Can you hear me, number one?
Loud and clear, Captain.
Excellent. I was informed that communications should start coming back online shortly.
Excellent. We have secured a number of the Anzurian government officials here at the museum, and I believe I don't think all is well is the appropriate description for everything that's going on, but I believe sanity has been restored.
Well, I think it's a human saying that all's well that ends well. And while that remains to be seen, it seems as though we are closer to that than we were this morning.
Sorry. It just felt appropriate.
Captain Mavac has pulled away from confrontation with the Gallant. My suspicion is that is the point at which the coup plotters realized their position was untenable.
Mm.
Shall we return to the ship to get some rest before returning for the negotiations tomorrow?
I think some rest is well earned. And as you say, you have a big day tomorrow.
4 coming aboard.
Acknowledged.
Coming with us times.
And
Sure.
the 4 of you beam up to the Gallant. And that is where we're going to go ahead and end this session, go ahead and end this arc.
Yeah.
We'll do a little bit of some aftermath stuff in the next session. But by popular demand, next session is apparently a beach episode.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
They got beaches. They got beaches on this planet. Yeah?
Yes.
Beach.
Beach. Yeah. All right. Well, that officially concludes our first of 3 arcs here on Star Trek Gallant. Thank everybody so much for hanging out and chatting while we play our silly little space games.
Yeah.
Hoping everyone enjoyed. If you hung out, if you chatted, if you donated especially, it really does mean the world to us. We could not do any of this without you guys. I'm gonna have everybody go through, and we're gonna plug our pluggables. So starting with Cass.
Is me. I have been Vimes to Sam, who's going to have a great conversation with the captain. It's going to be fun. I'm fine.
Mhm.
I'm not worried. Let's see. Where can you see me next? I don't know if God Complex will be happening next week because of the holiday, but we'll find out. Either way, alternating Thursdays, you can find me here for Redacted when we come back, and over on Entropy Emporium for God Complex and Will's game. It's Girl by Moonlight, piloting the husks of dead gods to fight interdimensional space kaiju. We found out there's bad goo in the basement last week. That was an attack on me personally. It's evil goo. I am good goo. It's evil goo. Later in the month, on the 29th, actually, I will be appearing over on Tales from the Table Studios in a new Fabula Ultima game called Sundered Skies. I will be playing the poorest little meow meow to ever meow meow. She is just a little baby child. She looks like a little haunted Victorian doll. And I'm going to be playing a mutant. Don't worry about it. And then on the 8th, also on Tales from the Table Studios, we will begin. We haven't come up with a title yet, but the Sentai and Sensibility endeavor that we are going to proceed with. Our tables are set, and the rest of the planning is underway. Where I will be running one table, TR Grimm will be running another table, set 80 years apart. And shenanigans are afoot in merry old England, and we're going to see who's causing magical problems for the royal family. So to watch out for that on July 8th. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing this summer. So.
All right.
Hi, hello friends. I'm Hexwood on all social media platforms. Every other Saturday, including, in theory, this upcoming Saturday, I am here for class reunion as Kelly Violet. We're trying to do some more political stuff over there that may have very similar things going on like this game, because there is, in fact, a maggoty little flesh monster running around these streets. Every other Sunday, I am around for Academy H. We're doing a little side hustle, a little side venture right now. We're playing the Fist system. We're villains. Every other Tuesday, I'm gonna be doing something else. Monster of the Week game. I'm gonna be a super fun, super casual, not a problem at all searcher named Eve. Nothing to worry about. Eve is minding her own business and minding everyone else's business. Every other Wednesday, I am here. Every other Thursday, I am in Never Ember's Enigma as Lavinia Hale. Remember, ACAP does include Lavinia Hale. That is all I am doing. All of it here at LFTA. I live here. I die here. Goodbye.
Okay, so you say that it's like very similar, then you went like maggoty little bastard. Like, what is the connection there?
Are you saying that Aquila was not a little bastard?
And Takal's not a little bastard?
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, Takal especially, I suppose. I guess Takal's a maggoty little bastard.
Maggoty, and like there's like the bug maggoty, and then there's the MAGA maggoty.
Yeah,
so
okay, I suppose that's fair. Yeah, all right. Rouge, take it away.
Hi, I'm Rouge. I'm not doing a lot these days. In fact, my longest running game here on LFTA, Veilbreakers, in theory, we're doing our final session this coming Sunday. We already defeated the big bad, and now we've just gotta kind of clean up all them loose ends. So I don't know how that was going to be a full session, but all I know is at the end of the last big bad fight, my brother was dead in a way where I wasn't allowed to resurrect him, I think. So stuff might be happening. It might be fucking me over. So you should tune in because I don't know what's going to happen. So you should tune in so you can find out what's going to happen. And yeah. And then one of these days I will go back to hosting first Monday of every month in the LFTA Discord. If you're not already there, you should join. You get to see cute pets sometimes. And first Monday of every month, in theory, I host community night, which typically ends up being a movie night. Our country's on fire, so I'm gonna be honest, I've taken some months off, but like I'm gonna get back into it, I swear.
Yeah, Planet is a fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, fair and valid.
Yeah, fair and balanced TM. Hey everybody, I'm Brendan. How's everybody else? When I'm not doing this, at this point, I'm not doing as much as I was. At this point, I am primarily just also on Academy H. Normally, I play Alex Sandowski, aka Victory. Currently, we're in a little villainous interlude using the fist system. I am playing Lottery. Yes, Lottery. Weird little guy with terrible luck. Just final destinationing his way through life. And maybe he'll die. Who knows? And I don't really do anything outside
Death
the channel.
comes for us all, I've heard.
Yeah. I might have some stuff in the work. I might be doing some appearances outside the channel soon, but those are not finalized yet, so I will disclose those more fully once those are actually finalized. And I think that's it. I think that's all my stuff. Hey everybody. So once again, thank you to everybody who hung out this evening and who donated especially. I am too tired to raid anybody, so I think we're probably just going to be calling it a night tonight. So enjoy the dulcet sounds of Leonard Nimoy, who is going to play us out. Say goodnight. Goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Take it away, Leonard.